Everyone always seems to be looking for the next Kobe Bryant, the next Michael Jordan, yes, even the next Kevin Durant. They thought they'd found him. Then the arrest report hit. Kevin Durant had some encouraging words for the troubled prospect. After a shaky start to his collegiate career, Eastern Michigan's Emoni Bates has continued to shine. Can KD help him get back on his big figure game? If you're a fan of all things NBA, then you've no doubt heard of big-timer Kevin Durant, or KD as he's well known. This man is one of the most exciting players in the game, and over the years has been a key to many teams' success. His ability to score in bunches has made him a legend for many fans. Kevin Durant is still standing as a member of the Brooklyn Nets. After a turbulent summer and a disastrous start to the season, the superstar who requested a trade 7 months ago entered the game against the New Orleans Pelicans, playing better than ever. He finished December averaging 28.3 points per game while shooting 58% from the floor. In his 16th year, the 6'10" forward has been a pillar of stability on a Nets team. Kevin Durant is often disliked by fans for being slightly unlikable. We'll share the latest reason why shortly. But KD is a beast, someone who probably doesn't get enough love for how good he is. He recently earned a huge compliment from a young fan, which led to a wholesome exchange. At a recent Nets game, the fan was spotted holding a poster proclaiming Kevin Durant to be the greatest. The poster acknowledged Michael Jordan's status as the GOAT, but the fan explained that her young age meant that KD was the best, in her opinion. Durant spotted it and acknowledged it, which was very wholesome. The video became an instant hit on social media, and fans loved it too. As promised, Kevin Durant, the somewhat unlikable yet honest NBA superstar, recently gave an interview in which he told entitled basketball fans to shut up and watch the game. This is because they take the sport for granted, said Durant. Brooklyn turned their season around in December, and as of today, they sit just 1.5 games off of the first-place Celtics, with Durant shooting a career-best field goal percentage. But in a discussion with ESPN, the Nets star said he thinks fans take the NBA for granted because they don't see the hard work and travel that comes in between attending games. In response to the notion that fans may question effort in an average regular season game, Kevin Durant said fans have become more entitled than anything. He claims fans are starting to question players' motives for the game, or how they approach the game. Durant said, "The ones that do question, like, who are you? Just shut up and watch the game tonight," adding that the team goes as hard as they want to go, as hard as their bodies allow them. He contends that fans only see players during game time, but the players are constantly on the move, traveling, practicing, and shoot-arounds, so a regular season game won't be as intense as a playoff match. What do you think? Should Durant have brought fans into it? Opinions aside, Durant's offensive skills will surely go down as some of the league's best. As such, new and upcoming players are often called the next Durant. Net fans might argue that there will never be a next Kevin Durant, not the way he's going at 34, but others with a broader worldview will point to France and Victor Wembanyama, the 7'4" darling of tankers everywhere. It's been just 2 years since the world had to suffer through a prolonged next Kevin Durant debate. Chet Holmgren, a 7-footer from Minnesota, was the early favorite, who is now out for the season with an injury. Emoni Bates, a 6'10" teenager from Michigan, was an early contender and had all the prerequisites for a Durant comparison: long, skinny, and multi-level scorer with a killer crossover and court vision. But the comparisons didn't work out. Holmgren was seen as the more talented of the two, having landed at Memphis as the youngest player in NCAA Division I. Things quickly went south for Bates. In this social media age, talented athletes are often under the spotlight from a young age. It's difficult to remain anonymous, and with so many eyes being on you comes pressure. The comparisons can be overwhelming when you start being compared to NBA superstars, and that's what happened to Emoni Bates. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and won the Gatorade National Boys Basketball Player of the Year in 2020. There were YouTube videos comparing his moves to those of KD. So where did it go wrong? What trouble did Bates head into? And where's he now? Keep watching to find out. He was hailed as the next Kevin Durant when he was just 12 years old, but after a spectacular freshman season in high school, things didn't pan out the way many had anticipated. Bates didn't quite live up to the hype that surrounded him and had a rough first year at Memphis. He was supposed to be a star at Eastern Michigan, but disaster struck before he ever played a game for them. He was arrested on 2 felony gun violations. The felony charges were eventually dropped, and he recently received an 18-month probation. Bates is now free to focus on basketball and has had a lot more success in his second season season of college basketball than he did in his first. When the Brooklyn Nets came to Detroit to take on the Pistons, Bates decided to attend the game in order to talk to KD and Kyrie Irving, who had some encouraging words for him. Durant later spoke to Yahoo Sports about Bates' journey, saying, "I like that he's going the total opposite route in life, leaving school early, transferring from Memphis, got arrested, went through some. You gotta go through in this life to truly understand where you are," adding that he's playing good ball right now. He's been through some. He's a little more grounded. Everyone hits the occasional bump in the road of life, and that's essentially what this situation is for Bates. He made a big mistake and has had some things not go his way, but it's time to get back on track and do what he does best. He won't ever be the next Kevin Durant. Only a chosen few can reach that level, but Bates is still more than capable of making a name for himself in the NBA. Want to know more about Bates' newfound life with Eastern Michigan? Stay put. We're about to give you the latest. As a sophomore, Bates has seen an offensive resurgence, vaulting him into late-round draft discussions. Bates is averaging 19.4 points on 44% shooting for the Eastern Michigan Eagles, and maybe most crucially is hitting 36% of his 7.5 attempted three-pointers per game. He puts up 19 points on 5 for 12 shooting in a win over Detroit, hitting 4 of his 8 attempted threes, grabbing 6 rebounds, and snagging 2 steals in the process. Bates isn't going to blow anyone away with his numbers. He's 6'9", has a negative wingspan, and will never be the franchise-changing player many thought he would be. But quietly, Bates is playing himself into draft contention as an offensive specialist who could certainly thrive in the big leagues in a role similar to that of the big leagues. On top of his scoring numbers, Bates is averaging 5.7 rebounds, 1 assist, and shooting 72% from the free throw line per game. Bates, who reclassified to play at Memphis at just 17, is still just 18 years old and has plenty of time to continue honing his skills. Any team in need of wing scoring will keep an eye on Bates throughout the pre-draft process. In fact, if Bates can continue to measure well and impress in competitive standings, a team with a late first might take a swing on him, similar to the Warriors sending Patrick Baldwin Jr. in 2022. And whilst Bates is upping his game, Kevin Durant rises a spot in our look at the season's Kia MVP contenders. Even though he's first in fan voting for the Eastern Conference All-Star team, Kevin Durant has not been in the top 3 of the Kia race to the MVP ladder until now, so maybe it's appropriate that the hardware awaiting at the end of this journey is dubbed the Michael Jordan Trophy. In fact, Durant is in his prime at the age of 34, the same age as the trophy's namesake when he won the award. At an age when many players start to drop off, Durant is still ascending. Despite the Nets losing their first game in a month on the 4th of January, Kevin Durant finished only 1 point shy of tying his season high in scoring, 44 points. And if he can boost his current three-point percentage, 36.9%, a difficult task, he'd be on the way to a second career 50-40-90 campaign. Keep in mind, there are just 9 NBA players in that distinguished club, plus 1 from the WNBA, Elena Della Dunn, and 1 from the NBA G League, Quinn Cook. But we all know Durant won't be chasing stats anyway at Smoothie King Center on Friday against a New Orleans Pelicans squad that will be without young star Zion Williamson due to a right hamstring strain. Now, let's run through this Kia race to the MVP ladder order in quick time. Durant climbs to number 3 in this week's edition of Kia Race to the MVP ladder, while Jokic remains at number 1 after leading the Denver Nuggets to 8 wins in their last 10 games against the LA Clippers. Tatum stays at number 2 after dropping his second career triple-double in a blowout victory over Luka Doncic in the Dallas Mavericks. If you're following along, we'd love to hear who you think will claim the top spot. Let us know in the comment section below. It's been a great play for the NBA so far. We've seen a lot of rookies come into the league with a lot of hype behind them, but as we know, not all rookies live up to that hype. There are some who have exceeded expectations and are having a tremendous impact on their teams already this season. We've also seen some veterans make an impact on their teams this season and continue to excel. We've rounded up all of the favorites for this year's championship. Here's the top 6. The Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Clippers, Golden State Warriors, Phoenix Suns, Milwaukee Bucks, and Los Angeles Lakers. Which team do you think has what it takes to win it all? Like and subscribe for more NBA updates. See you courtside.